Alrighty. Do some more drawing on the airplane. Last time we were working with this little section right here. Let's go to edit. Let's go back into vertice. What I was starting to say is that we kind of have a squared off area here that I don't think would be per se squared, so I don't remember if we connected those. I think we did. So what we could do is actually let's come to 1 and let's Z this. I'm going to grab this whole thing box. And actually, now what I need to do, go to 1, hit A. I think our back is more or less where we want it. The front's just the problem. So let's box this area. And let's come to Z. And I want to scale this on the Y. Look at it from the front. I don't think that looks too bad. That looks a little better than what we had going on here. Except for now, we're going to have a little thing here that we're going to have to figure out, which is going to be what I actually could do, I think, to fix this to where the lines meet more where we want them to meet, is I think I could if we go to face mode here, and then we could go to line mode here. We can delete that edge. We could delete that edge. Go back to vertice mode. Okay. And then what I could do is actually I could select this one. Then I could select shift select this one. Hit W. We're going to merge this at the last. Okay. Same thing over here. We're going to select this one, shift select this outside one, and we're going to hit W and we're going to merge last. Now if we look from the side, the only thing that's kind of goofy about that is that we okay, we need to hit Z box these in, and then drag it to where we have it fairly decent picture here. Okay, we need to grab on the Z. We need to come down until we basically see all the little stair-step breaks in this line disappear. Then another thing we can actually do is box this. We can hit scale on the Z and 0, and that straightened it out. Now, I was going to say what I'm sure happened here though is on the back it tapered this window here, and what we can do to fix that, box this one, and we're going to scale to the Y. We're going to pull that out of here. And one of the things we can do is hit Control 3 on the keypad. So we have an actual straight back shot of it. And then we kind of have to guess. Scale Y. And if we kind of try to parallel it with the line in front of it, it'd be about there. And then we can also, again, we can look at these. Let's look at the top. We can also look at these from angles and stuff, and if it seems like something's too wide, something's too thin, that kind of stuff, we can fix it. Okay. Now let's deselect. And let's go to lines. Let's put in some faces here. Shift and F. With an A. Okay, same over here. So Shift F and then A, and then if we go to and actually kind of like that, but if what we wanted to do back here, if we actually wanted to bring this back out, we could actually do this. The only thing I don't like about stretching this is that you start distorting the faces because the front lines and the back lines don't match up. You don't really have a flat surface. And sometimes it's kind of hard to... Sometimes it's hard to kind of make that transition, because then you end up having this lip. But one thing we could actually do a little bit, we could actually box this little area right behind this, scale it to the Y and a little bit, and that would make it to where when we thin this body out a little bit more, going backwards, that it will kind of get that oval shaped away from that cockpit, kind of like cut in. Alrighty. What I was talking about is we still have this frame area, and like I said, I think I could put this frame area in with the I think I could put that frame area in with the I could put the frame area in with the knife tool, I think, which I'm not going to try to do right now, but I'm going to practice a little bit with it. play around with it, see if I can do it, and then when I come in to make a video, it won't be like I'm making a 1 hour or 45-minute video of me just playing with that knife tool. Okay, if I come up here and I box in this bottom and I grab it to the Z a little bit, we want to bring it down. Actually, it's kind of funny, these windows in here, it looks like they have a little bit of a cut across here. Okay, so let's extrude to the Z. Let's go down a little bit. Like right there. And then let's extrude again to the Z, and let's come down to this line here. And let's zoom in here and see how bad I am on or off the line here. I'm just a little bit underneath it. So let's grab it to the Z and bring it up. And actually, what's kind of funny about this, we're drawing this plane with this canopy open. But for the model, we actually are going to have to slide this thing we're actually going to have to slide this thing. Let's scale this. Scale to the Y. And then let's bring it here. And let's come on down. Scale it Y. Nitty-gritty land here. Scale it Y. And what we could actually do, you could actually bring it exactly over the line, or you could just leave it just a hair off there. Let's go Z. And as you can see, we got a really funky lip here. And again, how we could get away from the funky lip thing here. Well, there's a couple ways we can do that. We'll deselect this. Let's go this way and let's box this one in. So let's hit Z, then let's hit box. Let's grab these two. Let's go to 7. Or actually, let's go to 3. And we pretty much have the line. So we can scale Y. Let's look at the Z now. Okay. Now this is where, yeah. No, I don't want that. Right click, get rid of that. Okay. What I want to do here is, and I should maybe look at some pictures of this, but we're going to take these two, Z, we're going to grab these two, box, We're going to extrude this to the X. Let's bring this back here. And actually, let's take it there. Extrude to the X. Let's extrude to the X again. Slide it over a little bit. Okay, let's extrude to the X. Right about there. Okay, let's extrude to the X. Right about there. Extrude to the X. Now the problem now is I think the other frame we're seeing there is let's come to about right, I think right there. Shoot the X. Let's make it extrude X. Let's take it there. I'm kind of trying to match it off the other end there a little bit. There. Okay. Hit A. Box these two in. We need to grab them to the X a little bit. About like that. And we need to grab this to the X a little bit, bring it in, not quite as much. About like that. Right there. Now part of the problem with this is you can already tell a little bit that the rails on our plane, we tapered them in for the picture, but we might actually have to widen them back out of here, or we're gonna have to take these whole lines and rotate them in to fit the airplane because they're hanging out just a hair. This is where this can get fun sometimes. Okay. So we box this with Z. Okay. What we want to do now is we want to, this will kind of seem weird because we're going to have some double vertices, but we'll connect them. Okay, whoops. Okay, I connect, grab these, we shift, duplicate to the X. I thought I wanted to delete it. Okay, that's hit A. Let's try this again. Let's box this. And let's I actually need to widen that a hair, I think. It's a little bit skinny. Let's go like this. A. So let's take and box this. Let's grab this to the X. It's a little better. And we need to... Actually, our frame looks a little bit thin too. So I'm starting to think that maybe these ain't, maybe I'm just seeing shading. I'm not really seeing the corners of this window. I need to look at a picture of the actual airplane. Let's see, let's box this. So I thought there was little corner tapers, but now I'm not so sure. Yeah, it still kind of looks like there is, but it looks like there is in some of the pictures and not in the others. Like they have the little part of the frame rounded out at the bottom. I think I'm not going to worry about it too much at the moment, though. Yeah, because I need to alter it afterwards. If I alter it now, it's going to just screw it all up. Okay, let's take the A. So what I was wanting to show you a little bit is we can box this again. And let's go Shift D to the X. And let's move it. Right there. And actually that was kind of dumb, but that's okay. Let's do it again. Let's box this again. Let's go Shift D, duplicate to the X. Let's grab that and let's bring that all the way back here to where that matches up. Okay. And if you notice, started making the frames on there. Okay. We hit gray. Starting to make our first canopy frame, and then we'll make the inner frames. We'll work this canopy down. See? Okay. And actually what I want to do, I want to zoom all the way down. So we're going to connect this back, and then if we need to stretch it out longer. But I want to get some of this thing connected here. Okay, that's nitty gritty. Let's grab it on the X. Let's bring it back to here. And let's hit A. And let's control circle those two. W, merge at the center. You shouldn't even notice the difference. Okay, we want to do the other side like that. This is part of what I was talking about, that if you draw X, Y, and Z axis, hit W, merge at center. Okay, A. Let's come sideways. Let's take this, and actually what I could do, I'll show you another little trick that I could do, because I think pretty much these frames would pretty much be the same. I don't really think you'd have thin ones and thick ones. I think it's just the way the picture is drawn. So to uniform this up, Actually, these are uniform. The bottom's just not uniform. So to uniform these up, what we can do is we can box this one, box this one, grab it to the X, and we can bring it over, and then we can come back down in here in the nitty gritty here. We can grab to the X, or we can bring that. And the reason you're seeing kind of two fat lips there is because, oh no, that isn't the airplane lips, so I might have to actually true up these lines like I do with the scaling process. And again, you can bring this to where you don't have no dots behind it. Let's hit A. Let's circle that one. Let's push W. Merge at center. And I'm not sure. I think I have it on where it's automatically merging, but I like to double check them. And again on this one here. I'm holding my control and then I'm right clicking my button and say W, merge at center. Okay. Come down into our one. Now we're working on the middle one. Okay, let's box it. Actually, what we need to do is we need to box the whole shooting match here. Otherwise, we'll just be moving part of it. Okay, so now we can zoom back in here. And grab it to the X, bring it pretty close. Zoom it in all the way, grab it to the X. Right there. Put a little twist on it. Okay. Select A. W. Merge at center. A, come up. And W, merge at center. Okay, select. Okay, come back to here. Alright, now what we want to do now is we want to make a box, grab these two, grabbing the X, bring them pretty close here. Okay, grab it on the X. Deselect A. And Control W. Merge at the center. Come over here, we were in the front. W, merge at the center. Okay, now those should be fairly merged up. And that's the start of our picture of our canopy. Now, another little tricky part here, because that's our first part of our canopy. So what we're going to do also now is we're going to hit A, right click A, Z, deselect. Okay, what I want to do now, and we don't want to grab the airplane at all, so we want to box this, and we want to box this, and we want to box this, and we want to grab this on the X, and we're actually going to slide it until we're pretty much mated. And again, like what I was saying, is you could actually come down in here and you could have a microscopic. Let's grab it to the X. You could actually leave like just a sliver of an opening here. That's all the way down. Grab the X. You could put the lines right over the top of each other, but you could actually just have the lines to where you have kind of like them next to each other, but not touching. Even though from here they look like they're touching, microscopically they're not touching. So like a real car door or a real window canopy, you slide it against it and it locks and it has a seal and stuff. But they're not, in a sense, they're not actually parallel. Now if we look at this, and still we just have the ever so slightest part of the airplane, which actually at the point it is, I think what we could just basically do is deselect, actually, and we'll do this on the Z, deselect, and we could come down here and we could probably grab these and go across and box these, and we could actually scale to the Y a little bit, scale the Y, and just bring these just enough out. Okay, scale to the Y. And just, again, microscopically wider. And let's go to object. It shouldn't have changed the plane that much, but if it did, yeah, see, you just don't really even notice if you're, it isn't that noticeable from just glancing at it. So, but what I like about this is that in reality, it wouldn't work unless you had the, if it was slid on top, it still would be a problem because behind it isn't flat. So the way the picture has the window sheeting, depending on how the rail system was and stuff, it would still slide back maybe on top of the other window. It wouldn't be a problem. That seems more realistic though. But like I said, in the model for the game anyway, with this thing flying around, this window's going to be shut definitely. The one behind it I think is solid. The third one back will probably be slid in. That's why it's even smaller. It'll be slid in somewhat to this middle window. And then the window that's even the very furthest back that looks like it comes up and closes, it looks like it slides into your third window, and together the fourth and the third window actually slide up into the middle. And I'll look at some pictures to verify this, but they're going to be basically open so that the machine gunner can be piece on the rear machine gun. Now what's kind of weird about that too is I think the rear machine gun in this plane was really small, but with having that big hump on the back, I think the rear machine gunner must have had like a harness, or with his flight harness and parachute and stuff, where he basically spun his chair around or whatnot, and probably folded it up out of the way. Probably literally stood up to shoot the machine gun out of the back of this, which would probably be a real hairy situation if the pilot was flying extreme maneuvers with him standing in the back here. So I'm going to make this a somewhat short video today. I think we got a little bit of progress done here. And I think this is number 18. I will label it accordingly. I'm pretty sure it's 18 and not 17, because I think I just made 17. But anyway, and wanted to point out, if I was just drawing this and I was actually devoting hours and hours of day, which sometimes it doesn't seem like it. It actually seems sometimes like it spins by pretty quick, but I can draw for 4 or 5 hours. It just seems like an hour and a half to me sometimes, and it can literally be 4, 5, 6 hours. But some of this stuff can take a long time. This process is taking longer because I'm explaining it and I'm making it a tutorial. I could actually just sit down and probably draw this airplane out a lot quicker. And I've thought about just kind of chunking ahead and showing where I went. But if somebody's really following along and actually wanting to draw these things and stuff along with me, then I kind of hate to cut them short. I mean, in a sense, the old joke, like back in the old days, is this just film? You can take a bunch of pictures. Well, that's even cheaper now, so it's just a matter of time. And whoever really don't want to sit here and watch these, they could kind of skim through them and then skim through the next ones and so on and so forth. And, you know, I've seen some things online where they're time-lapsed and stuff like that, which are interesting, but you don't learn how to draw from just watching the time-lapse unless you just kind of catch a clue about the how they're stretching and dragging stuff. And I'm a little bit long-winded, but anyway, I'm happy if you're following along. I'm happy if you're learning something about this. I'm happy because sometimes people send me stuff and say, hey, have you thought about doing this or that? And I actually learn how to draw in Blender better. Eventually we'll get this thing drawn, and then I'm going to start talking about the dynamics of how to draw it for the CDK, because they want it set up a certain way. And then I'm actually going to download Autodesk and import this in there, and then I'm going to see if I need to put my control point pivots, whether they'll transfer from Blender or whether I'm going to have to put them in Autodesk, and then we'll see if we can start writing some Dagger files and import it in the CDK and start playing around and see if we can get this thing flying in the CDK. I think that'd be really cool. And thank you for watching. I hope to see you in the next episode.